Hello everyone, welcome to another series of today's GK. Let's begin with previous day question. Question was, the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India was established in which of the following years? 2009, 2011, 2013 or 2016? The correct answer is option D, 2016. Recently, IBBI chairperson has launched the 5th Graduate Insolvency Program. The Insolvency and Bankruptcy Board of India was established on 1st October 2016 under the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016 Code. It has regulatory oversight over the insolvency professionals, insolvency professional agencies, insolvency professional entities, and information utilities. It consolidates and amends the laws relating to reorganization and insolvency resolution of corporate persons, partnership firms, and individuals. It is for maximization of the value of assets of such persons, to promote entrepreneurship, availability of credit, and balance the interest of all the stakeholders. Hence, option D is correct. Now, let's begin today's session. First question is, Roadmap for Ethanol Blending in India 2020 to 2025 report is prepared by which of the following? The Energy and Resources Institute, International Energy Agency, Niti Aayog, or Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. The correct answer is option C, Niti Aayog. Recently, Prime Minister of India has launched petrol blended with 20% ethanol, ethyl alcohol, also called E20, at the India Energy Week on February 6, 2023. This is touted to be a landmark green initiative to help the country reduce carbon emissions. Ethanol is a biofuel naturally produced by the fermentation of sugar extracted from sugarcane and agricultural waste such as bagasse and paddy straw. Ethanol, when blended with petrol, will reduce fossil fuel consumption and bring down the country's import bills. According to the Niti Aayog report titled Roadmap for Ethanol Blending in India 2020 to 25, prepared by an expert committee, the Union Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas intended to introduce ethanol blended petrol in phases. Automobile manufacturers are aware of the ethanol blending program and are rolling out new flex fuel engines that accommodate an ethanol blend of up to 40% to 50%. Hence, option C is correct. Next question is, consider the following countries. 1. Cyprus. 2. Republic of Ghana. 3. Republic of Mali. Which of the above members have signed and ratified the International Solar Alliance Framework Agreement? 1 and 2 only, 2 and 3 only, 1 and 3 only, or 1, 2 and 3? The correct answer is option D, 1, 2 and 3. Recently, India has welcomed Congo to International Solar Alliance. The International Solar Alliance, or ISA, is an action-oriented, member-driven, collaborative platform for increased deployment of solar energy technologies. It is for bringing energy access, ensuring energy security, and driving energy transition in its member countries. The ISA was conceived as a joint effort by India and France to mobilize efforts against climate change through deployment of solar energy solutions. It was conceptualized on the sidelines of the 21st Conference of Parties, or COP21, to the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, or UNFCCC, held in Paris in 2015. With the amendment of its framework agreement in 2020, all member states of the United Nations are now eligible to join the ISA. At present, 110 countries are signatories to the ISA framework agreement, of which 90 countries have submitted the necessary instruments of ratification to become full members of the ISA. Cyprus, Republic of Ghana, and Republic of Mali have signed and ratified the International Solar Alliance Framework Agreement. Hence, option D is correct. Next question is, in the context of science and technology, which of the following best describes the NISAR? Humanoid robot, artificial intelligence tool, newly identified asteroid belt, or an Earth observation satellite? The correct answer is option D, an Earth observation satellite. Recently, the chairman of the ISRO, that is Indian Space Research Organization, has attended a ceremony for the NASA ISRO Synthetic Aperture Radar or NISAR mission at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory. NISAR has been built by space agencies of the US and India under a partnership agreement signed in 2014. The 2,800 kilograms satellite consists of both L-band and S-band synthetic aperture radar or SAR instruments. It is an Earth observation satellite called NISAR. While NASA has provided the L-band radar GPS, a high-capacity solid-state recorder to store data and a payload data subsystem, ISRO has provided the S-band radar, the GSLV launch system and spacecraft. Once launched into space, NISAR will observe subtle changes in Earth's surfaces, helping researchers better understand the causes and consequences of such phenomena. It will spot warning signs of natural disasters such as volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and landslides. The satellite will also measure groundwater levels, track flow rates of glaciers and ice sheets, and monitor the planet's forest and agricultural regions. Hence, option D is correct. Next question is, she is the first Indian woman to climb Asia's highest volcano, Mount Damavand. She was also the brand ambassador of the Voter Awareness Program of Election Commission of India in the 2022 UP Assembly elections. She is also the first woman from Uttar Pradesh to climb Mount Everest in 2012. Choose the correct option according to the above paragraph. Shivangi Singh, Bhavna Kant, Tulika Rani or Manisha Kalyan. The correct answer is option C, Tulika Rani. Recently, the State Higher Education Department has appointed Squadron Leader Tulika Rani, a former Indian Air Force officer, the brand ambassador of G20 summit meetings in Uttar Pradesh. She will take part in the functions to be organized in the universities and colleges across Uttar Pradesh as the G20 brand ambassador. She is the first woman from Uttar Pradesh to climb Mount Everest in 2012 as well as the first Indian woman to climb Asia's highest volcano Mount Damavand. She has done total 24 mountaineering and trekking expeditions in India, Nepal, Bhutan, Iran and Africa, including Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa and Mount Elbrus in Russia. For her outstanding achievements, she has achieved 17 awards including Rani Lakshmibai Bravery Award from UP Government and Global Women Award from FICCI. Hence, option C is correct. Next question is, with reference to Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana or PMMY, consider the following statements. 1. Mudra lent directly to the micro entrepreneurs or individuals. 2. Udyami Mitra portal is associated with this scheme. Which of the above given statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option B, 2 only. According to the recent survey, Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana has helped in generating 1.12 crore net additional employment during a period of approximately 3 years, that is from 2015 to 2018. Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana is a scheme launched on April 8, 2015 for providing loans up to Rs 10 lakh to the non-corporate, non-farm, small or micro enterprises. These loans are classified as Mudra loans under PMMY. These loans are given by commercial banks, RRBs, small finance banks, MFIs and NBFCs. The borrower can approach any of the lending institutions mentioned above or can apply online through this portal www.udyamimitra.in. Hence, statement 2 is correct. Under the aegis of PMMY, Mudra has created 3 products, namely Shishu, Kishore and Tarun. Shishu loans up to Rs 50,000, Kishore loans above Rs 50,000 and up to Rs 5 lakh, and Tarun loans above Rs 5 lakh and up to Rs 10 lakh. Mudra is a refinancing institution. Mudra does not lend directly to the micro entrepreneurs or individuals. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. Therefore, option B is correct. Next question is, who among the following has won 3rd consecutive title in the 12th edition of National Ice Hockey Championship? The Indo-Tibetan Border Police, Border Security Force, Central Industrial Security Force or Central Reserve Police Force? The correct answer is option A, the Indo-Tibetan Border Police. Recently, the Indo-Tibetan Border Police or ITBP, one of the 7 Central Armed Forces, has won the National Ice Hockey Championship for the 3rd consecutive time. The 12th edition of the tournament was organized by the Ice Hockey Association of India. They defeated the Ladakh Scouts by a score of 1-0 in the finals. Hence, option A is correct. ITBP force was raised on 24 October 1962. At present, the ITBP guards 3,488 km long India-China borders ranging from the Karakoram Pass in Ladakh to Jakepla in Arunachal Pradesh. Apart from this, the force also has important roles in many internal security duties and operations against the left-wing extremism in the state of Chhattisgarh. ITBP also conducts relief and rescue operations as first responders for natural calamities in the Himalayan region. The force has responded in hundreds of search, rescue and relief operations over the years. Next question is, consider the following statements regarding Supreme Court of India. 1. Part 7 of the Constitution deals with the Supreme Court. 2. The Supreme Court of India was inaugurated on January 28, 1950. Which of the above given statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option B, 2 only. Recently, the Supreme Court of India has hosted the 73rd anniversary of its establishment. On January 28, 1950, 2 days after India became the Sovereign Democratic Republic, the Supreme Court of India came into being. It succeeded the Federal Court of India established under the Government of India Act of 1935. Hence, statement 2 is correct. The Indian Constitution has established an integrated judicial system with the Supreme Court at the top and the High Courts below it. Articles 124 to 147 in Part 5 of the Constitution deal with the organization, independence, jurisdiction, powers and procedures of the Supreme Court. At present, the Supreme Court consists of 34 judges, 1 Chief Justice and 33 other judges. Hence, statement 1 is not correct. Therefore, option B is correct. Next question is, in the context of art and culture, Thaipusam festival is associated with which of the following states? Gujarat, Nagaland, Punjab or Tamil Nadu? The correct answer is option D, Tamil Nadu. Recently, Thaipusam festival was celebrated on February 5. Thaipusam is a festival celebrated by the Tamil community in India. The festival is celebrated on the full moon in the Tamil month of Thai, that is January-February. The word Thaipusam is obtained by combining the two words Thai, name of Tamil month, and Pusam, which is the name of a star. The festival of Thaipusam commemorates the victory of Lord Murugan, who is the Hindu god of war. As per the Hindu mythology, goddess Parvati gave Lord Murugan a spear, that is veil, to defeat the demon named Surapadman. Therefore, on the propitious day of Thaipusam, the devotees worship Lord Murugan, the son of Lord Shiv, to obtain his grace to destroy all the evil and bad traits in their life. Hence, option D is correct. Next question is, consider the following statements with reference to Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister or EACPM. 1. It is a constitutional body. 2. It gives advice on economic and related issues to the Prime Minister. Which of the above given statement or statements is or are correct? 1 only, 2 only, both 1 and 2, or neither 1 nor 2. The correct answer is option B, 2 only. Recently, economics professor and researcher Shamika Ravi has been appointed as a member of the Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister. Economic Advisory Council to the Prime Minister or EACPM is an independent body constituted to give advice on economic and related issues to the Government of India, specifically to the Prime Minister. EACPM, chaired by economist Bibek Debroy, currently has 1 member and 6 part-time members. Hence, statement 1 is not correct, while statement 2 is correct. Therefore, option B is correct. The terms of reference of EACPM include analyzing any issue, economic or otherwise, referred to it by the Prime Minister, and advising him thereon, addressing issues of microeconomic importance and presenting views thereon to the Prime Minister. There could be either suo motu or on reference from the Prime Minister or anyone else. They also include attending to any other task as may be desired by the Prime Minister from time to time. Last question is, consider the following states: 1. Uttar Pradesh, 2. Uttarakhand, 3. Chhattisgarh, 4. Madhya Pradesh. Which of the above given states are the members of Central Zonal Council? 1, 2 and 4 only, 1, 2 and 3 only, 2 and 4 only, or 1, 2, 3 and 4? The correct answer is option D, 1, 2, 3 and 4. Recently, the 15th meeting of the Standing Committee of the Central Zonal Council was held in Dehradun. Officers from Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh, Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh attended the meeting. These states are part of the Central Zonal Council. In the meeting, discussions were held on implementing the best practices. Apart from this, emphasis was laid on promoting local products more and more in the states of the Central Zonal Council and including local products under the midday meal. Hence, option D is correct. The zonal councils are the statutory bodies. They are established by an act of the Parliament, that is, States Reorganization Act of 1956. The act divided the country into 5 zones: northern, central, eastern, western and southern, and provided a zonal council for each zone. Each zonal council consists of the following members: Home Minister of Central Government, Chief Ministers of all the states in the zone, and 2 other ministers from each state in the zone. Now it's time for the practice question. Which among the following states of India has maximum number of Ramsar sites? Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Uttar Pradesh or Himachal Pradesh? Send the answer of this question in the comment section. Stay tuned for the next episode. Thanks for watching.